Last year, BMW reintroduced the 8 Series after a long absence. They started with the 850i, but now they're starting to fill in the rest of the lineup. I'm here in Portugal at the Portimao race circuit. We're hitting kind of all of the 8 Series variants. Before I get too deep into this M8, do me a favor, hit subscribe below. We have a lot of great content coming your way. There we go. Thankfully, they're giving us track time in the M8 Coupe, which is really the best place and only place to explore the potential of this car. So we have a pro driver that I will be following for 6 laps. And it is a slick track. It has been raining all day, but it's not raining currently, so it shouldn't be too hairy. There's a whole lot to take into account with the center here, as well as with all the various drive modes. It's actually rather confusing because you have so many menus to choose from, but that said, there are some shortcut buttons just like the M5 where you can pre-program them. During the briefing, they did say that in pretty much every drive mode, you can have up to 100% power sent to the rear wheels. And really, the front wheels get power only when you really need it. And in Sport Plus modes, it keeps a little more power going to the rears and limits a little more of what you can get to the front. So in a lot of ways, I'll be driving this much like I would just a regular rear drive car. One thing I really liked about the 850 is you had a lot of time to react when things do start sliding around. A lot of it has to do with the longer wheelbase. It gives you just a little bit more time to react. Oh, there we go, a little squirm. Woo! Come on, babe, let's go. Woo! Oh, that's a big dip. Yeah, there's definitely some standing water here, but I'm really not even feeling much of a transition when the front wheels start getting power sent. It's nice and smooth and linear, and it's really giving me a lot of confidence. Hopefully, not too much confidence. Woohoo! We have these adaptive brake lights that flash when you're under heavy braking. Whoa, there's a good slide. It was very controlled, and I felt like I really didn't have to react too quickly or too aggressively with the counter steering. Man, this thing has torque. Okay, so now we just switched to Sport Plus mode, which should be a lot more aggressive, but also give me a little more latitude when it comes to stability control. It's not going to chop me off nearly as much. Should let me slide it a little bit more. Hard on the brakes. Oh, there it goes, washing out. Now I'm not getting a lot of feedback through the steering wheel. I had some understeer there. Whoa, there we go. Woo! Yeah, Sport Plus is definitely letting me get away with a lot more here. This is the place to experience it. There we go. Slide it, there we go. Yeah, and when it washes out, there's really no foreshadowing of it with steering feedback. You don't feel the wheel lighten up when it loses traction like you would with old school hydraulic power steering. Unfortunately, that's just the way things are nowadays. Whew. I'm working up a pretty decent sweat here. My biggest fear coming into this drive was that maybe they'd make the ride quality just too stiff to remain a decent touring car, but they haven't. There's a big enough difference between Sport Plus and comfort modes in the suspension where you get the compliance when you want it, and when you want to have some fun on track like I just did, you got that too. Body roll is pretty much non-existent, and it really makes the standard 8 Series, like the 850, feel a little too soft, a little sloppy. But it's by no means soft or sloppy on its own. It's really just when you compare it apples to apples against something else. I would certainly have no problem living every day with a M850i. But as good as this M8 is, and as much range as it has for comfort and performance, yeah, I think it's worth the extra 20 grand for the M8. Well, this is the competition. I don't really think that extra horsepower is that big of a deal, especially for how much more expensive the competition is.
So now we're going to do a cool down lap. So just roll the speed.
I survived.
Braking, let the brakes cool down.
In addition to sampling the M8 Coupe and convertible, we also have the opportunity to find out what the 8 Series Gran Coupe is all about, which is where I am right now. One of the greatest drawbacks to the regular 8 Series Coupe is rear seat space. It's almost non-existent, but with the extra doors and the extra length, I'm actually okay back here. Now my hair is just barely brushing the headliner, but I'm honestly pretty comfortable back here. There's not a whole lot of thigh support, which also isn't that unusual for a car like this in the back seats. And there's not a lot of room under the front seats for my feet either, but I have plenty of knee room. Overall, the Gran Coupe solves the space problem for rear passengers. I'd be fine back here for a road trip. After driving the M8 Coupe convertible and this 840 Gran Coupe, I can say yes, it is worth the 20 grand to step up from the 850 to the M8, mostly because of the suspension. It is far more athletic, it corners much flatter, and there's really not too much of a penalty when it comes to ride quality. As far as the 840, the advantages are very telling as well. You have a lot more rear passenger space. And for that kind of convenience, without too much of a price premium, it's starting to make sense as the choice for most drivers. If you're looking for more space and more convenience, definitely look into the Gran Coupe. And here's the kicker, there will be an M8 Gran Coupe. There's no date announced yet, but it is certainly on the way. For more information on the 8 Series M8, as well as the Gran Coupe, head on over to Edmunds.com. To see more videos like this, hit subscribe.